Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're tuning into this right now, chances are you're hungry for a bit more out of life. More success, more freedom, maybe just more meaning in your day-to-day. But here's the hard truth that we all kind of try to avoid. You probably aren't actually stuck. You're just comfortable. And yeah, comfort feels incredibly safe, but it's really a seductive, silent trap that ultimately leads to a life full of regrets. So today, we're going to break down the exact step-by-step mechanics of how to unlock truly unstoppable growth.
There's this quote, "Comfort is a slow death." And man, that perfectly sets the stage for everything we're diving into today. Because every single day you wake up, life demands a choice from you. You either evolve or you repeat. That's it. And honestly, most people, they just choose to hit repeat. They think the same thoughts, they take the exact same actions, and they end up harboring the exact same regrets year after year. Listen, if you want to rise above that, it is absolutely not going to happen by chance. It happens by choice.
All right, let's get into section 1. Action over intention. Stop confusing thinking with doing.
Seriously, ask yourself right now, are you evolving or are you just repeating? Because while everyone out there wants more freedom and success, the world is absolutely packed with people who just talk about what they would do or what they should have done. They stay in the exact same spot for years because they're mistakenly trying to wish their way into greatness. Basically, they mistake planning for actual progress.
Here's the reality check. Ideas do not build empires. Actions do. It is so incredibly easy to trick ourselves into feeling productive just by talking and strategizing. Intentions are comfortable, right? They sound really good when we tell our friends and family about them over dinner, and they give us this temporary, totally false sense of control. We feel like we're doing something just by discussing it, but talking about it literally never moves the needle forward.
When you look at the stark contrast between intention and action, it's pretty eye-opening. Most of us dodge taking action because, well, it's messy. It's super uncomfortable. It forces you to actually face the real possibility of failure, embarrassment, and people judging you. But the winners, the high achievers, they act despite the fear, the doubt, and the chaos, simply because they flat out refuse to stay the same.
Which leads us to a massive paradigm shift in section 2, the myth of motivation. Why waiting to feel ready is a trap.
Okay, I'm going to let you in on the biggest lie in the whole self-improvement space. This totally flawed idea that successful people just wake up super motivated every single morning. Spoiler alert, they don't. Motivation is just this fluctuating, totally unreliable feeling. It's a fair-weather friend. Discipline, on the other hand, is a solid muscle. Think about it. If you only move when it's easy and you happen to feel like it, you are going to stay weak. But acting when it's genuinely hard, that is exactly what makes you powerful.
So let's formally define what we're talking about here. Discipline is a muscle that gets built by pushing through resistance. It's simply the ability to act without needing to feel like acting. It is not a punishment, even though it sometimes feels like one. It's that absolutely crucial ability to show up, especially when it's dark outside, it's freezing cold, you are completely exhausted, and absolutely nobody is watching. Because honestly, that's where you meet the real version of yourself. And embracing this completely crushes that awful paralysis of overthinking. Clarity comes from action, not before it. You do not need the perfect strategy to start. You don't need perfect timing or the perfect economic conditions. If you're standing still waiting for all the stars to align, you're just going to stay stuck. You figure the details out as you move.
Let's see how this ties into our next concept in section 3, mastering the boring. Success is a buildup of consistent, boring actions. The unglamorous, behind-the-scenes truth about elite achievers is that they aren't out there chasing fireworks or novelty every day. No, they just master the mundane fundamentals. It's all about those unfiltered, unseen hours. Waking up early, repeating the exact same routines when absolutely no one is clapping for you. Studying your craft, tracking those tiny, ignored details. These quiet, unglamorous, frankly boring tasks are the exact forge where character and resilience are made.
So, what do you do when the routine starts feeling totally pointless? Well, it really comes down to a 3-step progression. Step 1, you've got to actually feel the resistance. Acknowledge it. Step 2, lean in and execute anyway. Step 3, unlock a whole new level of momentum. You see, boredom isn't burnout. It's literally just your mind testing you, asking you, hey, how bad do you really want this goal? When you push past that resistance, your performance finally detaches from your mood and locks onto your mission.
The secret weapon here is setting non-negotiable decisions. Wake up and move. Show up and work. Refuse to make your goals optional.
Look, you don't actually need more hours in the day or a magic pill for more energy. What you need are solid, line-in-the-sand, non-negotiable decisions that leave absolutely zero room for bargaining with your distractions. Because once you truly decide, the negotiation with your inner laziness is officially over.
Moving right along to the ultimate scoreboard for success in Section 4, compete with your past, the only competition that truly matters.
We are all constantly tempted to look left and right at everyone else's social media highlight reels, aren't we? But we have to remember, comparison is a thief. It steals your peace, it steals your focus, and it drains your power. Constantly watching others literally forces you to shrink. You end up trying to copy their path instead of carving out your own, entirely ignoring the fact that no one else out there has lived through your specific struggles or your specific pain.
You need to shift your focus entirely inward and ask yourself the only question that actually matters. Am I better than I was yesterday? Real sustainable growth usually isn't loud or flashy. It is deeply personal. You measure it in quiet victories and really subtle decisions, like finally speaking up in a meeting when you used to stay silent, or choosing discipline for 5 minutes when you used to choose excuses. You're not looking for massive, dramatic leaps every day.
You're just looking for one more time. That is the single true metric of real progress. It's the sheer power of choosing to show up just one more time when the older, weaker version of you would have thrown in the towel. Because every single time you look back and realize you made that choice to step up rather than step back, you gain the exact momentum you need to completely rewrite your story.
Which brings us to the final, and honestly most profound, shift of this explainer. In Section 5, build identity before habits, the foundation of lasting transformation.
Let's define identity for a second. Your identity is simply the reputation you build with yourself through your daily choices. It's something you actively adopt and reinforce, not just something you passively earn. If you only focus on surface-level habits, like, say, forcing yourself to go to the gym or trying to eat clean, it's doomed to fail if your underlying beliefs about yourself haven't shifted. True transformation means making sure your daily actions aren't constantly at war with who you secretly believe you are.
There is just a massive difference between forcing change and embodying a new identity. Forcing change is absolutely exhausting. It's this temporary, grinding process of fighting your own mind, where you're essentially just acting a part. Embodying an identity, though, that is effortless flow. You aren't forcing yourself to act disciplined. You simply are a disciplined person. The actions just become automatic because they are perfectly aligned with who you now know yourself to be.
So how do we actually make this shift? It's a 3-step process. First, ask yourself who you need to become. Don't ask what you should do today, ask who you need to be. Second, declare it out loud. You've got to change your internal language from, "I'm trying to get better at this," to, "This is exactly who I am now." And third, you reinforce that powerful new declaration daily with those small, boring wins we talked about earlier.
Think of it like an election inside your own mind. Every small win is a vote for the person you want to become. But beware, because it works both ways. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, you cast a powerful vote for your unstoppable future self. But every single time you hit snooze or skip the workout or make a convenient excuse, you are actively casting a vote for the old you. I want you to remember these 6 words because they will totally rewrite your internal story. I am the kind of person who, just fill in that blank. I am the kind of person who executes on my plans. I am the kind of person who absolutely does not fold under pressure. By claiming that identity right now, and then backing it up by acting daily and improving daily, you literally command everything else in your life to fall right into place.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final provocative question. Who do you need to become today? Seriously, stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop making those comfortable excuses, and please stop living as just a fraction of who you were born to be. The incredible life you're chasing, it isn't hiding out there somewhere in the distant future. It is being built right now in the precise, tiny choices you are making today. So, what choice are you going to make?